Hi students, welcome to DS Economics channel. Today we are going to discuss 2013 December Kerala set economics previous year question. This is your part number 1. In this part we are going to cover from question number 1 to 40. So those who come for the first time, please subscribe to this channel, and those who do not watch the previous part videos, they can watch in the playlist. So let's start today's video. Question number 1. The overbinding or the paying of a price higher than the true value of an asset by the highest bidder at an auction is termed as affluent fee, minimum efficient fee, winner's scores, limit pricing. It is called as winner's scores because the winner's scores occurs in auction when the winning bidder ends up overpaying due to incomplete information or overly optimistic estimates. So it is common in common value auctions like oil rights or IPOs, where the actual value is the same for all, but each bidder has their own estimate. So it is called as the winner's course, the bidding or paying of a price higher than the true value of an asset by the highest bidder at an auction is termed as winner's course. The next question, question number 2. The purchase of a commodity or currency where it is cheaper and its sale where it is more expensive is dash. Arbitrage, hedging, swap contract or forward contract. It is called as arbitrage. Option A. Because arbitrage is the act of buying in one market at a lower price and simultaneously selling it another market at a higher price to profit from the price difference. So it is ensure price equalization across market. And hedging means to cover foreign exchange risks, and arbitrage means buying and selling, buying in one market and selling in another market, arbitrage. Then question number 3. An upward shift in all firms per unit cost curves resulting from an increase in input prices as the industry expands. It is called external diseconomies, external economies of consumption, external economies of production or none. It is called as external diseconomies. Why? Because external diseconomies occurs when the expansion of the industry raises input cost for all firms. For example, higher wages, raw material shortage, it's shifting cost curves upward and increasing average cost of production. It shifts the cost curve upward and it increases the AC, average cost of production. So it is external diseconomy. Then question number 4. In an increasing cost industry, the long run supply curve is downward sloping, upward sloping, horizontal straight line or vertical straight line. In an increasing cost industry, the long run supply curve is in increasing cost industry, it is upward sloping. Long run supply curve is upward sloping. Option number B. Because in an increasing cost industry, as more output produce, resources prices rise due to limited availability. So when more output, then resources prices also rise due to limited availability. So this results in higher production cost and an upward sloping long run supply curve. So option B is the right answer. Question number 5. The relationship between a firm's profit maximizing output and the amount it thinks its competitor will produce is shown by expansion path, iso cost line, isoelastic curve, reaction curve. The right answer is reaction curve. A reaction curve from Carnot duopoly theory, it shows how one firm reacts to the expected output of another firm. How one firm reacts to the expected outcome of another firm. So it indicates the best response or profit maximizing output based on the rival's output level. So it is called as reaction curve. Question 6. The current value of an expected future cash flow, present discounted value, current cash flow, value of complete information, none. The current value of an expected future cash flow, it is related with present discounted value, because present discounted value calculates the value today. It calculates the value today. Calculate the value today of a sum of money to be received in future, discounted at a specific interest rate, so it reflects the time value of money. So present discounted value is equal to future value into 1 plus r into n is the formula. The formula is present discounted value is equal to future value into 1 plus r. So here r means discount rate and 1 plus r into n, and n means number of periods. So option A is the right answer. And question 7, curve showing all technically efficient combinations of input. Technically efficient combination of input, that is production contract curve, product transformation curve, price consumption curve, or production possibility curve. Curve showing all technically efficient combination of inputs, it is called as production contract curve, option A, because production contract curve shows all combinations of inputs like labor and capital, where inputs are allocated efficiently between firms, such that no firm can increase output without reducing the output of another. That is otherwise known as parity optimality in production. So production contract curve is the right answer. Question number 8, for perfect complementary between goods X and Y, MRS between X and Y must be 0, MRS between Y and X must be 0, or both MRS between X and Y and Y and X must be 0 or none. So for perfect complementarity between X and Y, for perfect complementarity, that is in case of perfect complementarity, goods are consumed in fixed proportion, like we can say suppose left shoe and right shoe, or pen and ink, these are the complementary goods. So the indifference curve for perfect complements are L shaped. We know the indifference curve for perfect complements goods are L shape. And on the horizontal or vertical segment, MRS is either 0 or infinity. On the horizontal it is 0, or in the vertical it is infinity, either 0 or infinity direction. So along the horizontal segment MRS is equal to 0, and along the vertical segment MRS is equal to infinite. It is 0 and it is infinite, because you are adding more y without x, and here in MRS is equal to 0, you are adding more x without y. So this is x and y. So but at the king, where the consumer actually choose to consume, MRS is undefined, like in the king position. So hence saying MRS is 0. So option A, B, C, these are not correct option, misses the full picture. So the best or most accurate answer is, I think, none of the above. For complementary between x and y, both MRS between x and y x not be 0. If one is 0, then other one is infinite, not 0. So I think none of the above should be the answer. Then question number 9, the shape of average fixed cost curve is rectangular hyperbola and ellipse, parabol, monotonically increasing function. Shape of AFC. AFC curve is this type of shape is AFC. So this is called as rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. One increase, other decrease. So AFC formula is AFC is equal to, we know, TFC total fixed cost by total quantity, TFC by Q. So as output or quantity increases, AFC decrease but never becomes 0. So this inverse relationship creates the shape of the rectangular hyperbola. So A is the right answer. And question 10, perfectly competitive firm are price searchers, price maker, price discriminators, price taker. Perfect competition. In perfect competition market, the firms are price taker, because in perfect competition individual firms have no control over price, so they accept the market price determined by supply and demand, hence they are price taker. So this is the industry demand and supply curve, and this is the firm's price set by the industry. So firm is a price taker. Here firm take the price of industry, so it is price taker. Then question number 11, when two commodities are jointly consumed, the cross elasticity between them is negative, positive, 0 or unity. When two commodities are jointly consumed, then the cross elasticity between them is negative. Why negative? Because when two commodities are jointly consumed, they are complementary goods like car and petrol, tea and sugar. For such goods, if the price of one good increases, the demand for other decreases. Here the price for one good, if price for one good is increases, then demand for other good decreases because they use together. So this leads to negative cross price elasticity of demand. And for substitute goods, it is positive. In complementary goods, the cross elasticity between them is negative, but in substitute goods it is positive. Then question number 12, a budget line is the resultant of the market price of commodity X, the market price of commodity Y, the income of the consumer. Yes, all of the above are true, because this is a price line or budget line. We can say here budget line solves all combination of good X and Y. Suppose this is good X, this is good Y, and this is the price. So the budget line shows all combination of two goods X and Y that a consumer can afford them. So the price of X, price of Y, and the income of the consumer. So it depends on all three. So all of the above is the right answer. In question number 13, the book Essays on the Nature and Significance of Economic Science was published in the year 1932, 34, 1890 or 1936. It is 1932. Answer is 1932. Essay on the Nature and Significance of Economic Science. This was written by Robbins, Leonard Robbins, and it was published in 1932, where he gave the famous definition of economics. So the definition was, economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. So this definition given by Leonard Robbins, and in the book Essays on the Nature and Significance of Economic Science, which was published in 1932. Then question number 14, the concept of utility was introduced by J.R. Hicks, Daniel Bernoulli, Marshall or Dupuit. The concept of utility was introduced by Daniel Bernoulli. Option B is the right answer, because Daniel Bernoulli introduced the concept of expected utility in 1738 to resolve the Petersburg paradox. So this laid the groundwork for utility theory in economics. So Daniel Bernoulli given the concept of utility. And question 15, the possibility that one will take less care to prevent an accident if one is insured against is called moral hazard, adverse selection, market signaling or none. It is called as moral hazard, because moral hazard occurs when a person changes their behavior, like becomes less careful because they are protected, or by insurance. So it arises after the contract is made. So it is the situation of moral hazard. And question 16, under a simple concept duopoly model, each duopolist will produce half of the output, 1/4 of the output, 1/3 of the output, or 1/5 of the output. According to Carnot duopoly model, each duopolist will produce 1/3 of the output, 1/3 of the output in the option C. So C is the right answer, because Carnot duopoly with two identical farms and linear demand. So total output here, total output is equal to 2/3, and each farm produce 1/3, 1/3 of total market demand. So this contract with monopoly or one farm and perfect competition with that is infinite farm. So this is a Carnot duopoly model where each farm produce 1/3 of the output, option C. Then question number 17, Kinged demand curve involves a marginal revenue curve that has a break, is smooth and continuous, cuts across the demand curve, or none. King demand curve involves a marginal revenue that has a break. This in this place it is break, so it has a break, because in the king demand curve used in oligopoly farms, it faces a more elastic demand. This is the more elastic demand above the current price, which rivals don't follow price increase, and a less elastic demand below it. Here rivals match price cut. So this creates a kink in the demand curve and a discontinuity or break in the marginal revenue curve at the king point. So A is the right answer. Then question number 18, in pure competition, the demand curve of the individual farm is perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, more elastic, or less elastic. In pure competition, the demand curve for the individual farm is perfectly elastic. Pure competition, it is a we can say it is one type of perfect competition market, when the first three characteristics equal with other market, then it is called as pure competition market. So pure competition, otherwise it is a, we can take the example of perfect competition. So in perfect competition or pure competition, a single farm is too small to influence the market price, so it can sell any quantity at the market determined price. Hence the demand curve is perfectly elastic. Here demand curve is perfectly elastic or horizontal line. Then question number 19, when alpha is equal to 0.98 and beta is equal to 0.87 in a Cobb-Douglas production function, the returns to scale is, we know that if the value of alpha plus beta greater than 1, then it is increasing, equal to 1 constant, then less than 1 means decreasing. So we have to just add the value of alpha and beta. So alpha value is 0.98 and beta value is 0.87. So the addition value is 1.85. So 1.85 means it is greater than 1. So when the value is greater than 1, then the returns to scale is increasing function. Here Cobb-Douglas production function is, suppose Q is equal to AL alpha into K to the power beta. So if alpha and beta's value plus value greater than 1, then it is increasing function. Then question 20, duopsony is a market situation in which there are only two buyers, only two sellers, only two buyers and sellers, many buyers and two sellers. So duopoly is a market situation in which duopsony, here question asks for duopsony. Duopoly is another market. Duopoly means two seller, but duopsony means two buyers, only two buyers. So right answer is option A. Monopsony means one buyer, duopsony means two buyer. So these are the different concepts. Monopsony 1 buyer and oligopsony means few buyers and duopsony means 2 buyers. So here seller are many. So option A is the right answer. Then question number 21. Unemployment resulting from workers search for suitable jobs and firms search for suitable worker is structural unemployment, frictional, seasonal or voluntary. When any person or any firm search for job, then it is a type of frictional unemployment, because frictional unemployment is temporary and occurs due to job search or transition between jobs. So it is part of the natural unemployment rate. So it is frictional unemployment. Then question number 22. Dash is the rate of unemployment consistent with zero inflation, Nairu, disguised unemployment, cyclical unemployment. It is Nairu, Nairu. Nairu means non-accelerating inflation rate, non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment. It is a natural rate of unemployment where inflation is stable. So Nairu is the rate of unemployment consistent with zero inflation. Here unemployment, it is unemployment where inflation is stable. So it is Nairu. Then question number 23. People's attempt to save more may lead to fall its output is real balance effect, Keynes effect, paradox of thrift or liquidity trap. It is called as paradox of thrift. People's attempt to save more may lead to fall in output. In the paradox of thrift, if everyone saves more and consume less, then aggregate demand falls. And when aggregate demand falls, first is if everyone saves more, if saving is more, then the demand, aggregate demand, it decreases, and when aggregate demand decrease, then output also decrease, and if output decrease, then income also decrease, and making total saving unchanged or even lower. So this is the situation of paradox of thrift. Means if everyone save more, then it is a problem for the economy. Option C is the right answer. Then question number 24. Theory of business investment that relates planned investment to the rate of change of output. Tobin quantity theory, accelerator theory, Koech's theory of investment, Jaggerson's theory of investment. This is called as the accelerator theory. Accelerator theory, theory of business investment that relates planned investment to the rate of change of output, because accelerator theory states that investment depends on the rate of change of output or demand. So if output increases rapidly, then investment increases. And question number 25. According to monetarist, in the long run, money supply affects price level, real output, employment. Money supply affect price level. Option A is the right answer, because according to monetarist like Milton Friedman, inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon. So in the long run, money supply affect price level, not real output or employment, due to money neutrality. So option A is the right answer. And question number 26. The ratio of the monetary cost of a specific bundle of goods and services in a given period to the cost of the same in an earlier period is called cost index, price index or base index. It is called as price index. Price index measures the relative price of a basket of goods over time. So price index formula is equal to cost in current year by cost in base year into 100. So option B is the right answer. Then question number 27. When the demand for money is completely interest inelastic, the LM curve will be. Here the demand for money is completely interest inelastic, then the LM curve will be vertical, horizontal, relatively flat or relatively steep. Then the LM curve will be vertical, because it is interest inelastic. Answer is vertical, because if money demand doesn't change with interest rate, then it is interest inelastic. So the LM curve is vertical, meaning money market equilibrium is independent of the interest rate. Then question number 28, when the demand for money increases, the LM curve shift downward to the right, upward to the left, or remain the same. When the demand for money increases, the LM curve shift. When the this is the suppose LM curve, then LM curve shift upward to the left, because an increase in money demand holding money supply constant, it causes the interest rate to rise at each income level, so shifting the LM curve upward, or we can say leftward. So option B is the right answer. Then question 29, the size of the fiscal multiplier is larger when the more interest elastic is demand for money and less interest elastic is the demand for investment good. No, the size of the fiscal multiplier is large when the less interest elastic is the demand for money and the less interest elastic the demand for investment goods. Yes, when both are less, because a larger fiscal multiplier occurs when money demand is interest inelastic. The money demand is interest inelastic means smaller shift in LM curve or less crowding out, and investment demand is interest inelastic means investment doesn't fall much with rising interest. So option B is the right answer. Then question 30, the classical aggregate supply curve is a horizontal straight line, vertical straight line, upward sloping, or downward sloping. The classical aggregate supply curve is a vertical straight line, classical, then it is upward sloping, but in classical theory it is this type of shape. In classical theory, and now the supply curve is this type upward sloping, but in classical theory aggregate supply is vertical at full employment output, because output is determined by real factors like labor and capital, not price level. So this is the situation, aggregate supply curve at the full employment level. So B is the right answer. Then question number 31, when the value of marginal propensity to save is 0.5, the value of multiplier will be, here MPS given as 0.5. So value of multiplier K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC, or we can say 1 minus MPC is equal to MPS. So 1 by 0.5. 1 by 0.5 means you can say 10 by 5. So 5 to the 10. So 2 is the right answer. 31 option A is the right answer. Then question number 32, aggregate demand shifts. Aggregate demand shifts rightward when government spending decrease, or aggregate demand shifts rightward when the nominal money supply increases. Yes, when the nominal money supply increases, option B, because an increase in nominal money supply raises real balance, it lowers interest rate and boosts investment and consumption, so shifting aggregate demand to the right. So option B is the right answer. Then question number 33, simultaneous equilibrium in the money or LM and goods, that is IS market, exists. So simultaneous equilibrium in the money market and goods market means IS and LM curve, equilibrium position. This is the equilibrium position at an unlimited number of output level and the rate of interest. Now, at only one output level and rate of interest. Yes, at only one output level and rate of interest. So this is the answer, simultaneous equilibrium in the IS and LM, because the interaction of IS-LM curve gives a unique equilibrium in terms of both output and interest rate. Question number 34, a measure of the political effects of unemployment and inflation is called DAS, misery index, sacrifice ratio, headcount ratio, or Gini coefficient. A measure of the political effects of unemployment and inflation is called misery index, misery index is equal to unemployment rate plus inflation rate. So it reflects the economic discomfort felt by average citizen, and it is often cited in political debates. So A is the right answer. Then come to question number 35. Which among the following is not a policy implication of the new classical approach? The policy ineffectiveness proposition, the output employment cost of reducing inflation, the dynamic time inconsistency models, the discretion based on monetary policy. So right answer is the discretion based monetary policy. It is not a policy implication of the new classical approach, but all other are classical approach. And new classical economics advocate rules based policies, not discretionary ones, because of policy ineffectiveness proposition due to rational expectation and time inconsistency. So option D is the right answer. Then question number 36. The supporters of Ricardo equivalence claims that national saving would be unaffected by tax cut. Yes, the supporters of Ricardo equivalence claims that national saving would be unaffected by a tax cut, because Ricardian equivalence says consumers view government debt as future taxes, so a tax cut today causes them to save more, offsetting the cut, hence no effect on national saving. So option A is the right answer. Then question 37. Hicks theory of business cycles is based on the assumption of a constant multiplier, an increasing multiplier, a decreasing multiplier, or not. Hicks theory of business cycle is based on the assumption of a constant multiplier. Option A, because Hicks trade cycle model combines the Keynesian multiplier or assumed constant with the accelerator principle, leading to the cyclical fluctuation. Then question number 38. Insider outsider model is a feature of new classical model, post Keynesian model, Keynesian model, or new Keynesian model. Insider outsider model is a feature of new Keynesian model. Option D, because the insider outsider model explain wage rigidity. Insider means employed workers influence wages, and outsider, those who are unemployed, have no bearing power. So it is a part of new Keynesian theory which focus on market imperfections. Then question number 39. The economic model which assumes that output is always at its natural level, that is new Keynesian model, real business cycle model, new political macroeconomic model, or none. The economic model which assumes that output is always at its natural level, that is called as real business cycle model. Real business cycle model. Option B, because the real business cycle model assumes market clear and output is equal to natural output or always at full employment, and fluctuations are due to real shocks like productivity and not demand shocks. So option B is the right answer. And today's last question, when the question number 40, when the consumption function makes a parallel shift upward, the value of the multiplier will, consumption function this parallel shift upward, then the value of multiplier will moderately increase with respect to change in autonomous consumption component. No. Moderately decrease with respect to change in marginal propensity to save. No. Becomes uncertain, or remain constant. It remain constant. Because a parallel upward shift in consumption implies an increase in autonomous consumption, but since multiplier depends on MPC or MPS, it remains constant. So 40 right answer is D. This is all about for the today's session. I hope you enjoyed this video, and those who come for the first time, subscribe to this channel, and those who do not watch the previous part videos of Kerala set, they can watch in the playlist. So we'll see in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Jai Jagannath.